my name is William, and I'm going to be a rising junior at Lowell High School. And this is my main project, and it was the robot for Tank Wars. So if you've seen my previous milestone videos, then you'll know that this robot was supposed to be originally be controlled over Wi-Fi using a website, but unfortunately that didn't work out, so I've had to switch over to a Bluetooth control. So how it works is that right here, I don't know if you can see it, but at the bottom here there's an Arduino board, and it basically functions as the brain for the robot. So it sends out all the commands and everything to control the robot. On top of it is an Adafruit motor shield, and that's connected to two DC motors, which you can't see, but they're connected to these two back wheels, and they'll be driving the wheels forward, backwards, etc. And then here, with all this jumble of wires, they're all connected to this Bluetooth dongle, and basically what that does is that it receives the signals from this Bluetooth PS3 controller. And there's also a laser pointer here, and basically that just shoots a laser. It's all powered by 4 1.5 volt batteries, and then here in the front is an ultrasonic sensor, and basically I programmed it so that it'll tell the robot to stop once it's 6 inches from an object. So how it works is that when I programmed it, I've set it up such that each direction that I told it to move in, forward, backwards, left, and right, I set that all as different cases, and then I set up an array function that calls on each direction. So whenever I push a button, then it records each button push onto a command list, and then once I click this X button, then it'll execute all the buttons that I've pushed. So basically this robot is pre-programmable, meaning that I can push infinitely as many buttons as I wanted to, and once I push this execute button, it'll do all these functions. So yeah, I guess I'll show you a brief demonstration right now. So this green LED right here, it demonstrates that there's no activity from the robot right now. It's just waiting to receive a command. Okay, so I've powered the robot on, and it's successfully connected to the PS3 controller. Basically, when this green LED is on, it basically shows that the robot is currently inactive, and that's just waiting to receive commands. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to show the robot to move forward and then shoot the laser. So forward. When it blinks, that means it received a command. Shoot, and then execute. And a laser just fired. Challenges that I had while building this project is, of course, that I didn't get my Wi-Fi shield until last week, and I basically had to assemble all this Bluetooth assembly within 2 days. Also, this was my first experience with programming and electrical engineering. So before I came to BlueStam, I only had mechanical engineering and CAD experience through my experience on my high school's robotics club. And through my participation in BlueStam, I was able to learn a lot about programming. So now I have knowledge in 3 programming languages. There are C, PHP, and HTML. And then also I learned a lot about electrical engineering. So I learned how to solder. I learned a lot about circuits. But in the future, for modifications for this robot, firstly, I want to reorganize these wires, because sometimes these wires get in the way of these wheels, and that causes problems when the robot is moving. Secondly, I also want to make this photoresistor larger because sometimes it's really hard to hit this target. Thirdly, I also want to correct the electrical noise in this robot that causes the robot to move on its own sometimes. And then lastly, once this Bluetooth assembly works efficiently, I hope to revert back to my original project and implement the Wi-Fi shield so that I can control the robot over Wi-Fi. So that's it for my final project video.